In this video, we're counting down the top 10 strongest currencies in the world, based on how much one unit of each currency is worth in US dollars. What does strongest mean here? We're not talking about how often a currency is used globally, or how many people hold it. Rather, we mean how valuable a single unit is. For example, one Kuwaiti dinar can buy more than 3 US dollars. Several things influence currency strength. First, natural resource wealth. Countries with big oil exports, like Kuwait or Bahrain, often have very high-value currencies. Second, small population helps. Fewer people means less domestic demand for currency supply. Before we start, please like and subscribe to support this channel. Number 10. Euro, AUIR. Approx. Value. 1 euro, approximately 1.08 to 1.15 USD euro, is the official currency of 20 European countries, collectively known as the Eurozone. Despite being one of the world's most powerful currencies in terms of global usage, it's actually not the strongest in terms of unit value. But make no mistake, the euro is a financial giant. It's the second most traded currency in the entire world after the US dollar, and it represents one of the largest economic blocs on the planet. More than 340 million people use it daily, and the Eurozone economy is worth trillions. So why is the euro strong? 3 big reasons. First, the euro is supported by a massive unified market. We're talking about some of the world's wealthiest nations: Germany, France, Italy, Spain, the Netherlands, all sharing one currency. That means the euro doesn't rely on just one country's economy, but an entire union of advanced, industrialized nations. Second, stability. The European Central Bank is one of the most disciplined financial institutions in the world. They keep inflation under control, regulate banking, and maintain trust in the currency, even during global crises. Third, global demand. Countries around the world hold euros in their foreign reserves. Businesses use it in trade. Investors see it as a safe asset. All of this increases the currency's international strength. However, even with all this power, the euro only takes the number 10 spot on our list. Why? Because in terms of pure value per unit, several smaller nations, especially oil-rich Gulf countries, have managed to maintain currencies far stronger than Europe's combined economic weight. Still, the euro is one of the world's most influential currencies. It may not be the strongest, but it's absolutely one of the most important. Number 9. US dollar, USD. Approx. Value. 1 US dollar equals 1 US dollar. Base. Yes, you heard that right. The US dollar, the most famous currency on Earth, the backbone of global finance, the world's most traded, most trusted, and most powerful reserve currency, does not even crack the top 5 in unit strength. In fact, it barely enters the top 10. But the US dollar is a fascinating case because its influence is unmatched. Even though it's not the strongest by value, it is easily the most important currency on the planet. More than 80% of global trade involves the dollar. Oil is priced in dollars. Gold is valued in dollars. Countries store dollars as reserves to stabilize their economies. And businesses around the world use USD for international transactions. So why is the US dollar only number 9? Because the ranking we're using is based purely on how much one unit of a currency buys in US dollars. And since USD equals itself, its value is fixed at 1. But why is the dollar even strong at all? 3 reasons. First, the size of the US economy. The United States remains the world's largest or second largest economy, depending on how you measure it. It dominates global innovation, tech, military power, and financial infrastructure. The world trusts the dollar because it trusts the US economy. Second, global demand. The dollar is the global standard. When other countries face economic chaos, investors rush to the dollar as a safe haven. This constant demand keeps the currency stable and strong. Third, reserve status. Over 60% of global foreign exchange reserves are held in US dollars. That means governments around the world literally save and store USD as a form of protection. But here's the twist. Even with this massive influence, the dollar's unit value is not the highest. A number of small, oil-rich, tightly regulated economies have currencies that are worth far more per unit, even though they don't have the global reach of the USD. As we go deeper into this countdown, you'll discover currencies that exceed the US dollar by 2, 3, and even more than 3 times its value. 8. Number 8. Cayman Islands Dollar, KYD. Approximate value, 1. Cayman Islands dollar is approximately 1.19 to 1.20 USD. Let's shift away from oil-rich Gulf states and enter one of the world's most subtle currency powerhouses, the Cayman Islands dollar, KYD. You probably know the Cayman Islands for its turquoise waters, luxurious resorts, and thriving offshore financial industry. But among Forex circles, it's also one of the strongest currencies on Earth. And here's why. Financial center status and offshore banking. The Cayman Islands have earned global renown as a major offshore banking and financial hub. That means a lot of money flows through the islands, from investments, trusts, funds, to private wealth. This sustained foreign capital helps support demand for KYD, which in turn supports its stable and strong valuation. Currency pegged to USD, the KYD is closely managed and pegged roughly to a fixed rate against the US dollar. This peg helps maintain stability. Governments and financial institutions in the Cayman Islands support and defend this peg, which reduces volatility and keeps the KYD's value high. Small size plus controlled supply. Much like many of the other top currencies, the Cayman Islands' small population and controlled monetary policy mean relatively low domestic systemic pressures. Less demand for mass currency supply helps preserve value. So while KYD may not be as globally recognized as the US dollar or euro, its value per unit sits firmly among the world's highest. For many investors and international clients, holding KYD, or assets denominated in it, remains attractive because of that strength and stability. It goes to show, you don't need to be a superpower with a massive economy to have a powerful currency. Sometimes a niche, like global finance and offshore banking, can do the trick. Number 7. Swiss franc, CHF, approximate value, 1 CHF approximately 1.24 to 1.26 USD from the beaches of a financial haven to the mountains of a stable, prosperous nation. Now we travel to Central Europe, to Switzerland, the home of the Swiss franc, CHF, ranked number 7 in our 2025 list of strongest currencies. Why does the Swiss franc remain one of the world's strongest, even in 2025? Here are the key reasons: safe haven status and global trust. For decades, the Swiss franc has been viewed as a safe haven currency. In times of global economic uncertainty, wars, inflation, political upheaval, investors and nations often flock to Swiss francs, trusting that Switzerland's political stability, sound institutions, and fiscal discipline will preserve value. Low inflation and stable economy. Switzerland is known for its disciplined monetary and fiscal policy, low inflation rates, stable governance, and strong banking sector. These factors combine to support the strength of the franc. Global financial prominence. Switzerland isn't just stable. It's a powerhouse in global banking, finance, wealth management, and innovation. This reputation creates constant demand for franc-denominated assets, sustaining demand and value, relative scarcity and high demand for safety. Compared to large, volatile currencies, the CHF is relatively scarce worldwide. That scarcity, paired with demand in times of crisis, helps push up or maintain its value. The Swiss franc stands as a striking example of how a currency's strength can come not just from natural resources or small population economics, but from stability, trust, and reputation. It doesn't need oil wells or exotic offshore finance. It needs trust, discipline, and global recognition. And that's enough to keep it among the top currencies in the world. Number 6. British Pound Sterling, GBP, approx. Value in 2025. 1 GBP approximately 1.27 to 1.30 USD. It's one of the world's most famous currencies, the British Pound Sterling, often simply called the pound. It is one of the oldest continuously used currencies in history, with nearly 1,200 years of existence. But why is the GBP one of the strongest currencies in 2025? Why the British pound is so strong historical trust and global recognition. For centuries, the UK was a dominant global economic and political force. That legacy still supports confidence in the pound. Strong financial sector. London. London remains one of the world's leading financial hubs. Banking, forex trading, derivatives markets, fintech innovation. Demand as a reserve currency. The pound is one of the world's top reserve currencies held by central banks. Stable institutions and governance. Despite political fluctuations, UK institutions maintain high global credibility. Free-floating but controlled by disciplined monetary policy. The Bank of England maintains strict inflation control. Fun fact: even though the UK economy isn't the world's largest, the pound is still more valuable than many bigger economy currencies like the US dollar, Chinese yuan, or Japanese yen. Its strength comes from reputation, stability, and financial dominance, not sheer size. Number 5. Jordanian Dinar, JOD, approx. Value in 2025. 1 JOD approximately 1.41 USD. We return to the Middle East, but not to an oil giant. Instead, we find Jordan, a country with limited natural resources, yet an incredibly strong currency. Why the Jordanian dinar has such high value. USD peg. The JOD is tightly pegged to the US dollar. This peg keeps the currency stable and prevents devaluation. Strong central bank policy. Jordan's central bank maintains strict monetary control and high reserve requirement, low inflation and financial discipline. Even in a region often affected by conflict, Jordan maintains relative monetary stability. What makes it surprising? Jordan isn't an oil-rich nation, it doesn't have massive export industries. Yet, through policy discipline, currency management, and strategic alliances, it's among the top 5 strongest currencies on the planet. Number 4. Gibraltar Pound, GIP, approx. Value in 2025. Similar to GBP, approximately 1.27 to 1.30 USD, Number 4 brings us to a small British territory at the southern tip of Europe, Gibraltar. The Gibraltar Pound, GIP, is lesser known globally, but its value stands firmly among the world's strongest currencies. Why the Gibraltar Pound is so strong pegged to the British Pound, GBP. The GIP is 1-to-1 pegged to the GBP, meaning its strength mirrors the stability of the British currency. Strong financial and gaming sectors. Gibraltar has become a global hub for online gaming companies, international finance, insurance, and shipping. Small population equals controlled money supply. With fewer people and limited domestic demand, GIP doesn't require large-scale printing, helping maintain value. International trust due to UK backing. Since Gibraltar is a British overseas territory, the currency benefits from the UK's global credibility. Key insight: the Gibraltar pound is not widely used outside the territory, but its high exchange rate comes directly from its GPB peg, combined with a strong local economy. Number 3. Omani Rial, OMR, approx. Value in 2025. 1 OMR approximately 2.60 USD. And at number 3, we find the Omani Rial, one of the most stable, powerful, and valuable currencies on the planet. Why is the Omani Rial so strong? Oman has combined natural resources, strong fiscal management, and strict currency policies to maintain a highly valued national currency. Here's what makes it stand out. The OMR is tightly pegged to the USD at a very high rate. This prevents volatility and protects its value in global markets. Large oil and gas reserves. Oil plays a major role in Oman's economy. providing strong export revenue and making foreign exchange reserves extremely healthy. Low inflation and stable governance. Oman's central bank follows some of the strictest monetary policies in the region. Interesting fact, one Omani rial is so valuable that the country often uses 1,000th units, called baisa, to help with small transactions. The OMR's strength is built on a combination of energy wealth and disciplined financial policy, securing its place among the world's top currencies. Number 2. Bahraini Dinar, BHD. Approximate value in 2025. One Bahraini dinar approximately 2.65 USD. We stay in the Middle East with the Bahraini dinar, another extremely valuable currency. Why is the Bahraini dinar the second strongest currency? Strong USD peg. Just like Oman, Bahrain keeps its currency pegged to the US dollar at a very high rate. Highly developed financial sector. Bahrain is a Gulf region banking powerhouse, home to numerous regional financial institutions. Strategic oil and gas reserves. While not as large as some neighbors, Bahrain's energy exports still heavily strengthen its currency. Government stability and economic reforms. Bahrain has been aggressively diversifying its economy. Finance, tourism, tech, and logistics. The BHD maintains a slightly higher value than the Omani rial due to its historic peg rate and the country's strong financial sector. Even though Bahrain is geographically small, the strength of its currency demonstrates how smart policy and finance-driven economies can outperform larger nations. Number 1. Kuwaiti Dinar, KWD, approx. Value in 2025. 1 KWD, approximately 3.25 USD, the strongest currency in the world. Here it is, the king of currencies. For decades, the Kuwaiti dinar has held the title of the world's most valuable currency, and 2025 is no exception. Why is the Kuwaiti dinar the strongest currency on earth? Massive oil exports. Kuwait holds some of the largest proven oil reserves globally. Oil exports bring enormous foreign currency inflows, boosting the KWD's value. Partially managed currency system. Kuwait uses a managed floating exchange system, not a simple USD peg. This allows the Central Bank of Kuwait to adjust the KWD's value to maintain global competitiveness. Extremely high GDP per capita. Kuwait consistently ranks among the richest populations in the world. Strict monetary discipline. The Kuwaiti government and central bank maintain one of the most stable monetary systems globally. Large sovereign wealth funds. Kuwait invests globally through powerful funds like the Kuwait Investment Authority, adding more strength to its currency. The big secret behind KWD's power. The Kuwaiti dinar's strength isn't just oil. It's smart financial management, strategic global investments, and a currency system designed for stability and long-term strength. This is why 1 Kuwaiti dinar is worth more than $3, making it the strongest currency on the planet. That's your rundown of the top 10 strongest currencies in the world in 2025. Which one surprised you the most? Do you think any of these will drop out of the top 10 by 2030? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss more global finance videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.